Good morning. It is the 22nd of November, which means it is the last full week of Nanowrimo, and I am significantly behind. I've got about 14,000 words just because last week was a complete wash. Like, I did about 800 words on Saturday, and that was it. So I'm not aiming to get the remaining 36,000 words done this week. But what I thought would be a better focus for this week is finding a routine that's sustainable while I'm in this job, because obviously I'd like to keep writing beyond NaNoWriMo. And I need to figure out a way to do that with this job. So it is 6:30 a.m. and I think I've been up since 2. I woke up and thought, oh, I really hope it's not almost time to get up. I really feel like I need more sleep. Checked my phone. It was 2 a.m. Like, great, I've got another few hours before I need to get up. And then I just didn't properly get back to sleep. I've been dozing since then. I wish there was like some way, you could get a message which says, actually, Jackie, you're not going to get back to sleep. You might as well get up now. But I didn't, so now I'm up and I'm going to try getting some writing done before work. So I'm not actually sure what changes I'm going to be making to my routine yet to make writing more sustainable. This week's a bit of an experiment. The one change I have decided on is that Monday is no longer a gym day. So originally Monday and Thursday were going to be the mornings I went to the gym because they're the days I work from home. So I thought it would be easier to take a bit more time if I needed, because I just had to come home afterwards rather than having to get dressed and go to the office. And what's interesting is the 2 NaNoWriMo weeks where I've had my normal office routine, I actually haven't gone to the gym on a Monday. I've done it on a Tuesday instead. So that shows maybe there isn't that much merit in saving the at-home days for the gym. From a writing perspective though, I think it's important to start things the way you intend to finish them. So if I want to have a good week of writing, it would be good to start the week with writing. So time to get started. So I wrote for about an hour and did 917 words, I think, which brings me to 15,649 words. Obviously, still much lower than I should be. Today I really wasn't happy with what I wrote, and I think it's the first time in this project where, there have been days where it's like, oh, I think it can be better, but overall I've been, pretty satisfied, even if I've wondered, how I'd feel reading back through it in the future. Today, I really did not like what I wrote. I just wrote something to have written something. I might end up cutting it completely when I finish work today, but at least I wrote something, I guess. But now though, I need to start work for the day. I've finished work, I've showered, now I'm going to have something to eat, and then I want to do some brainstorming about the book because I was really not happy with what I wrote this morning and I could do better. I'm wondering if it's going to turn into a heist book, because we could have a heist to steal a gondola, which they need to use to get out of Venice. But my last book turned into a heist book, so I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Good morning, it's Tuesday, a bit after 6 a.m. and I'm heading to the gym, and I think we're going to have a heist. So I've been thinking about this, obviously not all night because I slept, but I went to sleep with the words gondola heist in my mind, and just gondola heist. We're going to have a heist to steal a gondola. That's kind of cool, but now I've just got to figure out how to do it justice, but also do it in less than 2 chapters, because this is not the point of the book. Ooh, seeing myself in the viewfinder, look at those dark circles. This is why I should film before I've showered and washed off my makeup for the day. So, I'm not a very good vlogger, this NaNoWriMo. I went to the gym, I went to work, now it's almost 8 p.m. You've missed my entire day. Not that there was that much to show. So at the gym, I did actually use my rest breaks for the first 20 minutes to do some notes for my story. So I copied the text into a word counter tool online, and it was 213 words or something. So that counts. And this evening I've been trying to edit the video from last week. The problem is, because I was trying to film with my new phone, the file sizes are so large that Like, I've been waiting over an hour for them to copy across to my computer so I can edit them. So that's a little annoying. But yeah, it's more of the usual. Work was busy, now I'm tired. And yeah, what's funny with work is I've basically been told I'm getting promoted. So that'll ultimately be CMO. The company I work for likes to make you deputy chief before they make you chief. But what's interesting is this round of promotions, I have like 4 team members who I need to promote in my team, so I've got a level of managers rather than everyone reporting to me. And already, like, my boss is saying, you know, that's not enough, you need like another layer of managers between you and them, because it's already, like, as you grow the team, it's already too many people reporting to you. So it's quite funny. We've been planning like the org chart for Q1 of next year, and I feel like I'm building an empire. I never intended to work in marketing. Never thought I'd be a CMO, but this is what we have. Problem is, I'm not writing very much. So I did do some brainstorming this morning. I am going to do the gondola heist, or a mini gondola heist, like a 1-chapter heist. But I'm realizing that now that it's winter and it's quite dark after work, I think if I head straight home from the office, in the evenings I'm just not going to be motivated to do anything. Like, it's cold and dark and just want to snuggle up in a blanket with a book. So what I might try doing tomorrow if I finish work early enough is going to a cafe before I go home. Problem with cafes at the moment is that they close at 7. I don't actually know if that's just at the moment because of COVID, or if cafes always close at 7 in Switzerland, so maybe it's a normal thing here. But cafes close at 7, and often I don't finish work until 6 or 6:30, so that's not a lot of time for writing. But if I manage to get out at like 5:30, I think I could get a good session in, so maybe I'll try that tomorrow. For now though, I'm going to see how my videos have gone with processing, so hopefully I can get this vlog up sometime this century. Hello and happy Saturday. So I have realised that if I'm doing a writing vlog, I should just only film on the weekend, because that's the only time when I do any writing. So it is, well, 1 p.m. on Saturday the 27th of November, which means there are 4 days left to go of Nanowrimo. I have, how many words do I have? 15,862 words out of 50,000. So there's about 35,000 to go. Assuming I write every day between now and the end of the month, the Nanowrimo website says I need 8,535 days in order to hit my goal. This is not going to happen. Partly because that's not going to happen anyway. I'm working on Monday and Tuesday, but also because I think I mentioned in one of my earlier clips this week, I have some freelance work to do. So my old business has hired a new editor and I'm reviewing her first edit before it goes back to the client. And I am wishing I had never agreed to this, not even just for Nanowrimo, but because it's like I moved on from this business. I sold it for a reason. I didn't want to be stuck in there. I wanted to be focused on writing. And as I'm going through this, I enjoy doing the earlier training calls with them because we do like trial edits on past client books so they can learn some skills without putting an actual book at risk. But now that I'm looking at a real book, I'm just going through it going, I really don't care. I can see that there are things wrong with this, but I don't have the mental capacity. It's also just laziness. I can't be bothered to figure out how to fix it. So I'm leaving feedback around things that could have been done better and things she's got to keep an eye out for next time. But in the past when I did this, so when I was running the business and I'd do this for my new editors, I would re-edit a book if I had to in the weekend before it was due. And now I'm like, if I can see a simple change that needs to be made, I'll make it. But I'm not pulling the book apart and putting it back together, which is what I would have done in the past. So I think after this, I'm just going to have to go to the managing editor and say, look, I'm happy to help with the trials, but at this stage, I don't want to be doing it anymore. Anyway, the book is 170 pages. I am up to page 43, and it's not that it's a bad book. It's about traveling through Australia with your dog, because we did non-fiction how-to books. So it's not a bad book. It's just it's more like a giant listicle. So she's listing out all of these different locations she likes and activities to do and so on and so forth, which means even though the content's not bad, it's just not the most engaging. You don't really build up any momentum as you go through it because it's just item 1, item 2, rather than a narrative that pulls you in. So I've already done an hour and a half on this, and I'm, what is that, a quarter of the way through. So I think I'll aim to get through half of it today, just because I would like to do some writing, because I need to do 8,500 words today in order to catch up, which again is not going to happen, but I would like to do something. So I've got, another 40 or so pages to get through before I can take a break from this book. So it is now 20 to 4, so I've been working on this book for 2.5 hours, which was longer than I expected. It takes a surprising amount of time to just copy and paste things into the same order from chapter to chapter. So I did get to the halfway point and I did organize the rest of the chapters, so tomorrow it should be fairly easy. I'll just be reading through. But now I need to get back to the Glass Witch. So last thing I was thinking of was the gondola heist. I'm going to go through my notes from Tuesday, I think, and see if I can flesh that out a little bit more and then start writing. So it took me a while to get into writing today, and I think it's because I was trying to get this gondola scene done and it's just not working. And it's because just the relationship between Roberto and Chiara, Roberto was sort of acting in a way I wanted him to act for the plot as opposed to a way I think he'd really act. So I still need to work on that a bit more. So instead, I jumped forward to when they've almost reached the Glass Witch. So there's this sort of swamp scene, very much Swamp of Sadness, a never-ending story, though I've got to work it up a bit more. So yeah, I moved on to that, and it still needs a bit of work, but I'm pretty happy with what I've done. So I did 1 hour and 15 minutes, 2,289 words, which means I still have over 6,000 words to do today if I want to be on track, but like we've said, not going to worry about being on track. So I'm at 18,151 words for Nanowrimo, and now Drew and I are going to go to the Christmas markets. Good morning and a happy Sunday. So I woke up this morning and I actually wanted to write. I don't remember the last time I felt like that. Maybe in Porto? I'll need to watch that vlog again, but I don't think so. I think in Nice and in Porto, I was writing to get back into the habit, and while when I got into it or got into a good scene, I was enjoying it, but I didn't really feel the urge to write. If I hadn't made myself do it, I wouldn't have done it. And then today, I woke up and I wanted to write, so I wrote. So I've done 1 hour and 826 words. My new daily total I need is about 10,600 a day, so good luck with that, Jackie. But I did 826 words. It was just going through what I'd done yesterday and adding the beginning of the scene, because I'd sort of started partway through the scene. So now I've had a break to have breakfast and a shower. Drew and I are planning on doing a short trip today to see a fork in Lake Geneva. I will get footage so you know what I'm talking about. But he's only just gotten up. It's 10:30ish, I think. So he's just gotten up, which means it's going to be a good hour before we leave. So that means another hour of writing. And then for the freelance work, I think I'll just take my laptop with us, because it's a 20-minute to half-hour train trip. So I can do a little bit on the way there and a little bit on the way back. I actually feel like I did most of the heavy lifting yesterday with reorganizing the chapters, so now it'll just really be reading through, so that shouldn't take too long. Have you ever had that moment when you're writing and you're like, how bad a person do I want to make my main character? And I just had a moment like that, because so we've finally met the Glass Witch. We don't know she's a witch yet, but we've met her. She's made her entrance, and Chiara needed to choose between her and Roberto. And as I was writing the scene, I had an idea that it could be a life or death thing. So they're basically in a swamp that's entirely made out of glass, and the witch does something, and the pool underneath Roberto changes back into water and he's drowning, and the witch makes her choose between going with her or saving Roberto. And that's actually a pretty bad thing to do. She's basically leaving her best friend to die, and I'm writing this going, I want the stakes to be high. I can't think of a higher stakes thing than this. But is this something that you know, I don't know if she's redeemable. Will readers still want to read about this character when they think she's killed her best friend? So that's fun. So I did another like 1800 words or so. So today I'm at 2,718 words out of my 10,616 that I'm meant to hit today. I don't know if I'll do any more writing when we get home this afternoon, but even if I don't, I'm really happy with what I've written today. I think I've made good progress, and I think if I do just end up being a weekend writer, then doing 2,000 to 3,000 words on a Saturday and a Sunday, like that's 5,000 words a week. That's still pretty good. And yes, it's not NaNoWriMo levels of productivity, but you know, 50,000 words over 10 weeks, 100,000 words over 20 weeks, like you can still get a couple of books done a year at that pace. So I think weekend writing could potentially work for me. But now I need to get dressed so we can see a fork. It's 7 o'clock and now I've mostly finished getting through this edit. Problem is, I think my Mac is dying, so anytime I try to do something like updating a table of contents, everything crashes and that's making it take longer. But I've been through the book. I have to do like a spell check, table of contents, and I need to go through the editing notes document, which was like a supplementary document we always did just to give general feedback on the book and explain why we made the changes we made and what the author still needed to look at before the next round of edits. But it's 7, and I've already worked on this for probably 3 hours today now. So I think that's enough for a Sunday. I can finish, and the due date isn't until the 6th of December. I was just hoping to get it done this weekend, but it can run over to next weekend if it has to. So now I'm going to have dinner and sign off for the day. Hello, happy Monday. It is the 29th of November, so including today, there are 2 days left of NaNoWriMo. I am probably 30,000 words behind. Let me check that while I'm filming. Yeah, I'm at 20,869 words out of 50,000. Oh, shadow. So obviously I'm not going to catch up. It is coming up to 5 p.m. now, so I'm about to finish work for the day. It is a little early, but I also have a full day of meetings on Monday, so I'm not going to get much more done. I didn't do any writing this morning. I decided to finish the edit I was working on yesterday instead, which is almost done, so I'm going to jump on and do another half hour or so on that, and then hopefully it'll be done. I did want to check in though, because I had a book arrive. So this, The Witch in the Lake by Anna Feinberg, is a middle grade book that I loved when I was in primary school. And it's set in maybe the Italian countryside. Wouldn't it be funny if this was in Italy as well? But it's set in some European village, and there's a little boy who has magic, and there's a little girl who's his best friend, and she gets sent away to like a convent, and there's a witch, and I only have vague memories of it, but I loved it. And one of the things that's been in the back of my mind as I've been working on my book is that I feel like it's similar to this. I feel like this has a similar atmosphere. So I found a secondhand bookshop online and ordered it, and now it's arrived, so I can read it and see how similar it is, and hopefully get a bit more inspired for my book. It is now December 4th, and NaNoWriMo is well and truly over. I did not end up writing anymore on the 29th and 30th, so my final word count was 20,869 words. So about 30,000 lower than where I was supposed to be. But I'm okay with it. And I don't think this will come as much of a surprise because the evolution was really in week 3, not week 4. Like I think when I started week 4, I knew I wasn't going to make it. I wasn't going to push myself to make it. And I was just happy to have started writing again, which I am. I haven't written 20,000 new words since Camp NaNoWriMo in April 2020, so that in itself is an achievement. It's also a brand new story, so one I hadn't even thought about until a couple of months ago when I had the idea. And yeah, I'm really happy to have made a start. So including the words I did in the few days before Nanowrimo, I think I have about 26,000 words all up. And I think the final draft of this book will be around 60,000 words, so I'm almost halfway through. My original goal was to finish it by the end of the year, which I think is still possible. However, in the last week there have been some personal developments happening, which is why I'm only getting around to filming this outro now. My parents and sister were planning to visit over Christmas. It would be the first time I'd seen them in 2.5 years. And they had to cancel their trips because of the new coronavirus strain and the lockdowns and measures that are being put in place because of that. So obviously that was upsetting. And then I randomly started looking at trips to Australia and how much it would cost and whether it was possible, and my mum was like, yes, you should definitely do it. And so now we're coming home. We booked the tickets last night. So we'll be heading to Australia on the 24th of December, which is really exciting. We're going to stay there for a month before coming back. It's going to be a lot of fun trying to coordinate work during that period because there's a 10-hour time difference at the moment. And I have taken 2 of those weeks off, but the other 2 weeks I will be working, so that should be fun. So with this coming up, I actually feel less pressure to try and finish this book by the end of the year. And I don't even know, when I say something like that, my initial instinct is to just go, it's not a cop-out, I'm not doing this because I'm lazy. I don't actually feel like anyone watching this is judging me for being lazy. Maybe you are, write in the comments if you're judging me for being lazy, but it's really clearly all in my head. But it isn't, because I want to be lazy, it's because I'm going to be off for 2 weeks from the 24th of December, so I'm going to have a good period of concentrated writing time. It doesn't make sense to push myself to finish before then when I'm going to have this period that I can just dedicate to writing and seeing family and being warm again. Oh my God, I'm so looking forward to summer. So all in all, this Nanowrimo has been a really good experience for me. I am disappointed that I didn't hit the 50,000 words. I really did think I could do it again, especially since we had the week off early on. I thought, I've done Nanowrimo with a full-time job before, I should be able to do it again. And maybe next year I'll be able to, maybe if it hadn't been, I was going to say so soon after our move, and yes, it has been a few months since we moved, but that is a pretty big life transition, and in some ways I think maybe it's still taking a toll. So maybe if it hadn't been shortly after an international move, maybe if it hadn't been at this time at work when things have been incredibly busy and we haven't been able to get a lot of help just due to internal politics with our HR team and getting people hired. And I think a lot of that will be addressed next year. I mean, I wouldn't have just moved countries, so we'll be into a better routine and be recovered by then. We will have gone home, which, I haven't been home since August 2018, and I don't think there's any way I can convey to you just how much I'm looking forward to it, because one, seeing family. I mentioned, haven't seen my parents and sister in 2.5 years. I haven't seen my brother and his wife since before we left, so that's coming up to 3.5 years now. And I haven't seen any of my friends since before we left. We've seen a couple of Drew's friends who, they're my friends too, but the ones that I brought to the relationship we haven't seen. So just being home, being warm, being in my own culture and knowing how things work and having a little bit of time to relax as well, I think it's going to be really good for both of us. And when we get back, we'll have a better sense of both how long we want to stay in Switzerland, because at the moment that's still up in the air. But also we'll have gotten this little recharge, this boost, and I think that's going to put us in a much better place for being a bit more structured and organized and motivated and just refueled next year, because I do feel like I've been running on empty for a long time. I've been saying this for a long time in these videos, and it would be nice to run on full again. So I think next Nanowrimo will be different. I think I can hit the 50,000 words in 30 days, but I'm not mad at myself for not doing it this year. Again, I've got a good start to a new book. I will be finishing that in the next couple of months, and who knows what's next. So if you're still here, thank you for sticking with me. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And I would love to hear from you about what your plans are now that NaNoWriMo's over. Are you still working on the same project? Are you putting it aside? Are you working on something new? Are you recovering? Because maybe you did work really hard to hit the 50,000 words and now you just need a break. So please let me know where you are in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye.